going to start off my video by staining some of these American flags that I got off of Amazon. I didn't realize, I tried to find cloth ones, but they're not as easy to find as you think. So this is plastic, so we'll probably have to deal with that, but I'm going to take some coffee, instant coffee. I've got some warm water here, and then I'm just going to put a whole bunch of Walmart coffee in there, and then just stick my flags in there, and we'll see what they do, if they do anything. So since we're kissing on the summer season, I thought it would be a perfect time to do some patriotic thriftfully. Okay, I printed this America the Beautiful music sheet off of the interweb. I just looked like for somebody that had a free download. I printed it on cardstock, so it's a heavier paper. I want to put this in a frame. I'm going to take this mixture that I got going on, since it's right here anyway, and I'm just going to go ahead and dip it, laying a towel out first so I have some place to put it. Dip it once, dip it twice, get both sides, and then lay it down. There it is. And if I wanted a little bit more age, I could just take some of this coffee with a wet hand, apparently. And then just age it a little bit more. I love how this dried. I love the age that it gave this paper. Remember, I did this on cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and seal this in with some weather defense to protect this image. So this is the frame that I'm going to use for this piece. And I know it kind of, hides some of the America the Beautiful. I'll put it down as far as I can, but I need to cut out a piece of foam board. I've already measured off what I need to cut. We got that part to fit. Fold that over. Check her out. I'll come up with something for that. Don't worry. So I'm going to use some decoupage transfer gel as my medium to attach it to this poster board. Cardstock, so you got to talk to it a little bit to get it to adhere. The brayer really helps it get down there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put it right in here. Use my handy dandy framing tool to get it to stay in. Now that I have it in the frame, I feel like the frame needs to be like some additives of some black. So I'm going to take some of the Jolie's black wax very carefully, because this looks like it was white maybe. I don't want to paint it because I really like the wood. But I just have to be careful. I did seal it in with a couple coats of weather defense, so though I love the wood. So yeah, so see, yep, it'll just darken up that wood. The wood was just a little too light for what the image was. So when I was doing the little inside, it was getting on this anyway. So I'm like, you know what? We're gonna make it look like it's always been this way. So I'm just gonna run a little bit of that black and not wipe it all the way off. I kind of like the look of it. One of those little happy mistakes, right? Okay, we are going to back this, so I'm going to go ahead and get some double stick tape down around the edges. We'll just put some contractor's paper on the back of it, and then take some sandpaper and just cut that edge off. It's a pretty lightweight frame, so I'm just going to go ahead and do one of the hammer and hangers. And finish it off. I'm going to mist it with a little bit of water to give that paper some age, maybe. Now I have this little, you can see that it's broken. It was somebody made a American flag out of some wood that's been aged in the weather. So I'm actually going to take the God Bless America off. Well, it's coming off anyway. Oh, you can see how it's weathered. I like the star. I like the blue. But yeah, I knew that we were going to be seeing this once I took that off. And whatever the wood was, it's just peeling all apart. I'm gonna see if I can take the star off. I have more stars if I end up breaking it. It's okay. Oh, it is coming off, but it's the same thing. That wood that's peeling, it's just not surviving the elements. This seems good, but these parts needed to come off. Give it a sand. Okay, so now I'm just going to tape off in between the slats, because I'm sure this was probably painted when it was separated, maybe? I'm guessing. So I'm going to start off with DIY's Carnival Red. Kind of water it down a little bit because this is just dry wood. Just looking to cover up where we took that off. The water will just really help it soak in there. Okay, gonna go in with the heat gun and dry it. Okay, even though I want it to look like just like a wash, I am going to put 2 coats on because of course the wood is going to take a little bit unevenly. But the second coat will just cover up a little bit more. Still have the tape on. I'm going to sand and distress the red because you know how red is going to end up bleeding onto my white. So I just want to try to prevent that from happening. Fill my red in using some weather defense. Okay, now I'll go ahead and remove the tape. Just trying to be careful not to get the spray onto the other boards that I'm going to be painting white. Okay, now I'm going to tape off to be able to paint the white. So DIY's White Swan, same technique where I'm just taking the paint, dipping it into water to help water it down so it glides on a little bit smoother. DIY paint goes a long way with it being clay-based. I don't think this originally had white. I think it was just left natural. I'm still not trying to spray over it on the other ones because that'll leave a line. I'm going for the darkest blue I have, and that's Bohemian Blue. I'm trying to work up towards those stripes. And I'm going to take some antiquing wax by Homestead and kind of give it a little bit more of an aged look. More of the weathered so the white isn't so bright. But I wanted that detail to pop. Now I'm going to attach, I don't have there's not enough space for all that you need. but I am going to attach some rusty crusty stars that I took off in arrangement. Just kind of placing them so, and then I'm just going to brad nail them in. Brads will be too long, but all I'm going to do is just hammer them into that wood. That way I know that they're going to stay. Reattach a hanging system. I'm just going to use some of this rusty wire that Chris happened to pick up at an auction lot. Look at the rust. But I'm going to be sealing this all back in with weather defense. And then I'm just going to twist so it doesn't go back through those holes. But gives it a little bit of decorative. So I know you all have seen me do the can, but I do have broken down watering cans. This one's really broken down. So for this one, I want to put some florals in it, but I want to keep it with that patriotic theme. So I thought this would be so pretty chippy red. And then you wouldn't even notice it was missing its spout. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and prep this, seal it in as a primer with shellac. Okay, so for my red, I'm going to use some Red Wagon by Sweet Pickins. As I said, I'm looking for chippiness and that whole age like the watering can has been out there. So if you're not using Sweet Pickins milk paint, it is a powder paint that you mix with equal parts tap water. This is just room temperature, nothing fancy. And then we're just going to go ahead and mix it up, incorporate all that powder in with the liquid, drain it for about 2 minutes, and then sit it off to the side and let it thicken up a bit. I do want my paint to chip off a little bit, so I'm going to use some of the Sweet Pickins beeswax. I've got a lot of projects out of this beeswax. So I'm just going to go ahead and just rub it on. I think that's good. Okay, my mixtures sit up a little bit. And now I'm just going to start painting it on. I don't paint this part, it's going to really look like you're like, hey, where's that spout? It's gone. It looked like this one was broken off. I do always like to try to keep some of the metal feature. So trying not to get it on that rolled part. Okay, now I just have to let it sit off to the side and let this coat dry. Okay, my first coat is dry. I'm going to apply a little bit more wax. Okay, it is dry now. I'm just going to take a shop cloth and we're going to see what comes off. Okay, chippy and distressed may not be everybody's vibe, but I cannot get enough of this aged look. So I'm going to actually, now that I've got it all chipped off, I'm going to go in with some weather defense and seal it in. So I want to put some florals in here. I pushed the bottom down as much as I possibly could. I'm not Superman. I don't have super power strength to bend steel, metal. But anyway, so I need to fill this up a little bit with some Dollar Tree floral foam. Gonna put a little bit of this crinkled paper that's got like a faded green just to cover up the floral foam. And then I purchased this lot of little florals off of Amazon. I'm sticking with the red, white, and blue theme here. Fluff them up. I like the little velvety florals, which is similar to stuff that I've bought from Hobby Lobby before. So we're just going to add those in here. Now some of my flowers, as you can see, the petals aren't staying up. So I'm just taking my Cricut mini press and holding it there for a second to get those to bend back the right way from being crammed in a box. This thrifted flag that I think I want to put in there, but it definitely needs an iron job. So do I have my heat press out? Good time to iron it. Okay, I'm not sure, like, am I going to need to cut it down? I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I think it might be way way too tall, but play around with it to see where I like it to lay. I feel like it would be okay with a ribbon. The fabric matches the stars. I bought this last year to make a project. I think I had to buy a couple yards or a yard. I'm not really sure how much it was, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I don't want that free edge. I don't know if this will rip or not, but oh, it does. Okay. Of course, I want the stars to be out. That sounded funny, right? I want the stars to be out. Just kind of ties it together. Oh my gosh, stars to be out ties it together. I'm making my own jokes here, folks. Out of the bucket, see what's going on, what stain, which is really funny because the part that I thought wasn't going to stain, this stained kind of beautifully. So I'm just going to lay them out and then let them dry. Look at this piece. So I actually didn't even win this at an auction. Somebody else had won a lot and this was in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, can I buy that off you? Name your price, whatever. Usually it's not very much, y'all. So she sold it to me because I'm like, it's just like, this is just a wonderful primitive piece. You know, we have 3 holidays here in the States that we could, 4th of July, Memorial and Labor Day that you can use this decor for. So I love it. I love it as is, but I'm going to distress it just a little bit. But this was what I needed those flags for. I was hoping that the flags would stain up because I thought it would be so super cute as a flag holder. I'm distressing it because the flags are not going to be as crisp as what this is. So just a little bit. And as you see, maybe it cracked over time. I'm not going to try to fix that crack. The crack is just going to stay the way it is. Okay, just get it dusted a bit here. So we're definitely going the primitive route. I'm going to use some Waverly antiquing wax to tone that down because I am thinking I'm going to need to touch up my flags a little bit. And I thought I would do it with the antiquing wax by Waverly to make them all look like they were meant to be together. So I want to say that, I mean, this has got some good age to it. But when I put it up to where I want to put it on, it's not quite there. It's good, but it's not exactly where I want it to be. So I'm just taking some more of the antiquing wax by Waverly, and I'm just putting it straight on. Straight on it. I want it to be not quite so bright of white next to the other stripes that are already on the hat. Be putting a little bit more aging wax. It's fun to try. Sometimes the things turn out, sometimes they don't. So it's not like it didn't turn out, it just wasn't enough for me yet. I think the gold kind of sticks out now. So I'm going to do some of the DIYs. Layered chocolate to cover that up. So I do need to seal those little ends in with some leather defense. Okay, now it's to drill the holes. So I'm just going to set this on here. I've got one of the new flags, and I need it to be just a wee bit bigger than what the flag is, the drill bit. And then I'm really just going to eyeball my center, but I'm going to slightly tilt it. I don't want it to go straight. Now I have to see. Yes. Yep, that's as far as I want it to go in. The tape, why it's in there. That way I know how deep to go. And I'm just going to go in with a little bit of antiquing wax to kind of disguise those new holes that I just drilled. Four little, I think they were table legs. What would you say? Missing something out of them. Chair legs, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and cut this part off. And I think, yeah, because the hole makes it weird. I'm going to go ahead and cut that part off. Okay, so I'm actually going to wrap these. Seems weird, right? So I'm just going to kind of guesstimate how much I need. So I want it to kind of go onto this flat part here. I'm going to use some decoupage transfer gel as like a medium to hold it, I'm hoping. A little layer, that little tab. Burn it so it doesn't fray. Fabric acts just like a napkin and all that, where and not necessarily when it's wet will it burn. So I have a piece of grain sack I'm going to do it with too. Gonna have the red, white, the star one. So now I'm going to have that whole bucket mixture and I'm going to use it to stain. Give a little bit of age to this. So this poor guy has been as much saved as he possibly can. He's got nice patina. Somebody zip tied him on. You can see he's broken. So I'm going to cut those off, and I have one more of the leg, even though it's going to be low on it. I think it'll make a beautiful display, spindle display. Okay, he's still stapled on. Get those staples out. Okay, I think he needs a little iron though. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and staple it on. Sent me this basket. It's perfect. It's cute just the way it is, other than it needs some fluff. So I think I have some matching flags, and then I thought the Hobby Lobby beige baby's breath would go perfect in there. So let's see what kind of arrangement I can make in here. Good. I think 3 is enough. I'm going to cover it up with some Spanish moss. The best stuff, but the worst stuff. It is very, very messy. Now for this, I want to leave the handle up. So I'm going to start cutting off some of the, I have now misplaced my my favorite nippers. They'll turn up, but not today. They didn't want to turn up. So just something to cut the wires. So see, I'm just working right around the handle, keeping it in the upward position. Now that I have, it's nice and full, I want to see if I could add one in, or if I need to, I can add more than one. I don't know, we'll see. Or if it looks stupid, I'll take them out. I have to think about it for a minute. To my life where I keep tweaking something to I absolutely love it. So even though I didn't love the Americana, I wish I had a 4. I don't. I have a number. I have a $1, and then I put this old spindle in there that is red. And I am going to I'm going to take some of this concoction. I guess it's concoction. And I'm going to age that a little bit more. So you know I'm a primitive girl at heart. Look at these cute little bottle brush trees. I don't know if they'll stain in the concoction. I made a whole bucket of it. I might as well see what will happen. Whether anything will happen, I don't know. We're going for it. Interesting. Just gave it some age. Didn't really color the banner, but it definitely gave it some age. I like old stuff and I like primitive age stuff, so I do like new shiny bottle brush trees, but alrighty then. So I think I'm going to attach these to the sweet little salvage piece. And then, did I tell you I've thrifted a lot of flags? And I think this flag matches, though these are still drying. And I think that I'm going to paint that up a little bit. And then I do need to cut off this, it's not even. Can you see that? So I'm just going to even that out. I did a half and half of antique ironstone and Sweet Pickins, the flour sack. So let's see what that turns out to match. I need something to match that, I think. I'm going to go in and try to create some more chippiness. With beeswax. Not on the bottom, though. I'm not worried about the bottom. Okay, getting it painted. Are you like me and you have all these salvage pieces and you're like, someday I will use them? Well, I guess today's the day for some of them. It's hard to pass it up. Okay, let's go 2 coats. Let's see what chips off. With I'm keeping with the tones and using antiquing wax. I did not seal this in, but that'll keep it with the tones of what the aging wax concoction. Coffee stain. I guess it's coffee stain, isn't it? The coffee stain concoction. We'll be doing to this piece. And then I'm going to take some Fusion's clear wax and that'll just kind of rub it in, get it into there, those spots, and tone that down a little bit so it just looks aged and not just waxed over. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get them glued on. Plenty of hot glue. Cut this down. I'm going to cut the little tag off. We don't need that tag. And then I'm going to place this, not with hot glue, I'm going to drill a hole. So I hope you weren't getting tired of this video, because I could have, I could have just kept on making and making. Yes, I have thrifted. I never get rid of a flag when it comes in an auction haul. I kind of just hoard on them. and wait to be able to create with them. So I thought I had some fun projects. A lot of them had a primitive vibe going on, but I am kind of a, I'm an antique junkie, so I kind of like that primitive vibe. So thanks for watching today's video. I hope I've inspired you in one way or another. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time, and you can see what I'm up to. Bye.